We at Time Shifters hope that you enjoyed this rare and infamous moment that combines a first-rate disaster with genuine historical significance. But now it's time to take a deep breath as we prepare to temporarily reset you. Get your cars to Mars.
Hey there, everyone. This is Christopher, and I'd like to welcome you to the Time Shifters podcast. On this show, Tom and I dive into movies and TV, mostly in the sci-fi, fantasy, and horror genres, and share our thoughts, give our reviews, and we'll talk about a little of this and that, too. Let's get things going. Tom, how you been?
Oh, just fine. Enjoying the dialing back of the time.
Oh, yes, for those of us, just to give a behind the curtain, the daylight savings just ended, I think. Is that? Yeah.
I think that's how that works.
And I hate it because it's dark, like, really early now, and I don't like it.
I'm not so worried about that, but I like picking up the extra hour of sleep.
That only happens one night. And I don't do that. I get an extra hour of, like, TV or games or something.
Well, the impact it has on me is, like, at least through this week, it'll all subside, but through this week, at least when I get up, I feel like I've gotten a little bit more out of it.
All right. Well, that's good.
So
I'm glad.
Take the good where I can.
All right. No, that's good. I'm glad. I'm glad for you. Right off the top, I want to apologize for folks who may have tuned in to our Borley Rectory review episode. I don't know how, but the first minute and a half, 2 minutes disappeared.
That's odd.
I'm not sure what happened in the edit. It happened at some point as I was exporting the file out, and I didn't realize it until our friend, I forget, until our friend Steve Turek messaged me and said, "Hey, did you know that?" Yeah, the review starts right. It pretty much misses all the bits where I introduce the film.
Oh, geez.
And give the brief synopsis, and it just starts with you going, "It was okay."
End of review.
Well, the rest of the review seems fine. It is all there. It's about 18 minutes, so it was a 22 minute review that somehow chopped the front off. So by the time I found out about it, I didn't have all the bits and pieces that I needed to
glue it back together.
To glue it back together. So unfortunately, it'll just have to live that way.
Well, happens every once in a while.
Yeah, it does. Things happen. An episode that nothing went missing, so far as I know. Y'all should have heard our coverage of the Cincinnati Comic Expo. Tom, unfortunately, you could not make it. Matt and I had a really good time down there. I ended up going down all 3 days.
Wow. Okay. That's rare.
It is very rare for me. At best, I usually maybe do 2, but no, this time I was actually down there for all 3 days. Not like all day, all 3 days, but I went down and I enjoy going down on that Friday now because it's just so laid back and chill compared to like Saturday, which is just wall to wall, lots of activity, panels, got to get here, got to get there. Friday is just... It just feels so much more relaxed and calm. I really kind of enjoy
it. It's really just vendors getting opened and all that. So,
yeah, and it's still a little bit of a surprise when you come in Saturday because not everybody has everything set up by Friday. So you still get to see some stuff that you didn't see before when you go the next day. So, yeah, it's kind of fun, but.
What was the reasoning for the Sunday, though? Usually that's kind of the day.
It was only because our good friend and former co-host Steve, he went down that day, and so I decided I would pop down and hang out with him for a couple hours. Yeah, exactly.
Nice. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it did give us an opportunity to sit in on the panel with all the Chris Reeves Superman villains.
Oh, cool.
Or at least the surviving. Unfortunately, Terrence Stamp, of course, passed away just a few months ago, so I have a feeling maybe he would have been there. If
that would have been fun to meet Zod.
Oh, absolutely. But the three that were there were still a lot of fun, and ended up being a pretty interesting panel. I tried recording it, but unfortunately the audio, I was having some issues. Apparently, don't hold your phone too close to the field recorder, because
really?
I believe that was causing some interference. I was getting some noise in the recording, and then between that and Jack O'Halloran, who played Non, I believe the character's name was, very soft-spoken man, and the audio, the sound system, not as good. It was tough getting to recording, and there was I couldn't pull enough out between his soft-spokenness and the interference noise that I was getting occasionally, so I just had to let that one slide. But it was kind of interesting and fun to hear him talk.
That's still kind of funny, though, because given that Non didn't really say anything, for the actor to be soft-spoken, that's just like, that fits. That tracks. I thought of you, though, because when I got down there, and I don't know how I really missed it, it didn't sink in that a few of the people that were going to be down there were so responsible for one of our favorite shows, Batman the Animated Series. Oh, really?
Yeah, we had writer Alan Burnett.
Okay.
And director Paul Dini were down there.
Oh, okay. Paul's down there.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool. I'm sorry I missed that, for sure.
Yeah, I was thinking of you. I got to meet, and we got to talk to them briefly, and even have a little bit on a recording. So you should definitely tune in for at least the first few minutes of that episode there, Tom, so you can hear them and hear them talk about their time on Batman the Animated Series.
Nice. I'll have to do that.
Yeah, it was very cool.
If it's appropriate, my son and I watched a little bit of Batman Animated Series that weekend. So
perfect.
Oh, and not that I am touting them, but I have been amazed since we're mentioned Batman the Animated Series, and you were at a convention where there would be toys. I am absolutely marveling at the toy company Mondo is releasing a Batman Animated Series Clayface.
Oh.
That will look screen accurate, and then on top of it, they've created a magnetic piece that you can stick to his chest, which is Batman trying to escape from the inside of Clayface.
Nice.
It looks really cool. Unfortunately, it's god-awful expensive, but still. It'll almost be worth it just to get that.
Yeah, no kidding.
But I really got to cut back on my toy purchases.
Yeah, and you go down to the expo, and of course there's so many dealers and everything, and you see some really cool looking toys, and you have to just kind of put your blinders on.
Well, yeah, I've also run up against that whole thing. Even if I choose to afford something, where's it going to go?
Yeah, well, as always, every time I go to one of these conventions, I tell myself, do not buy any more art prints.
Yeah.
I've got more art prints.
I'm shocked.
I could almost hang an art print from the pile of art prints that I have.
I'm telling you, man, you just start putting them on the ceiling.
Gonna have to. I don't know what I'm gonna do with all these, but eventually I will find homes for them.
Either that or start rotating them. Ooh, and what you do is you start getting them in little like little sleeve, like if you wanted to just do those plastic sleeves as frames, put one on one side, one on the other, and then occasionally flip them over.
That's what I need to do. Is I need to quit buying art prints and trying to get the artist to actually buy me the one that's inside his little, the little book that you can flip through.
Yeah.
But no, a good time was had. This will be the last one at the Sharonville Convention Center. They are definitely moving back downtown, which to me is a little unfortunate. I really liked having it at the Sharonville, but you know, got to go where it goes.
I suppose, but at least then at the convention center, it'll be brand new. So maybe that'll be cool.
No, absolutely. Matt brought up a good point. He was talking about having it at the Sharonville because it's a smaller venue. What he effectively was said was that it makes it nice that they could kind of have to pick and choose a little bit. So there's a little bit of everything, but only one of everything.
Right.
And where you don't feel like you're walking from booth to booth and seeing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, no, a little selection never hurt.
Mm-hmm. So that was interesting, but yeah, really great crowd. It was a super expo, so they had lots of actors who have either voiced or portrayed Superman or Superboy over the years. So it was very cool, and yeah, but we had a great time.
That's awesome.
To kind of continue on our War of the Worlds. You know, our last episode, we talked about the radio play and the 1953 film.
53,
yes. Get that right this time. And over on when the episode posted over on Blue Sky, a author reposted it, and I went and kind of checked out who this was, and this would be H.E. Wilburson was nice enough to repost this, and he is the author of a 3-book series called The Martian Diaries. And these are sequels, effectively, to the original War of the Worlds.
Oh, really?
But sequels to, like, the novel of War of the Worlds. So they take place in the early 1900s.
Okay. Interesting.
And yeah, very interesting. So I went ahead and checked it out. I went ahead and bought and downloaded the first book in the series, and I have one more chapter to go. I've burned through this thing all in a couple days.
Oh wow! Okay.
Anyway, no, I'm enjoying it. I just downloaded the audiobook, and but he's incorporated some music, and there's also like limited sound effects and stuff.
Oh, fair.
So it's not like a full blown audio play, but it's got enough in there to help kind of not just be sets a mood and not just someone reading the story.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting. It's neat seeing the story back in the 1900s, and you know this first book is definitely a setup to what is, I'm assuming, comes in the second and third book, and it's a little bit interesting having a character when they discover that the Martians are returning, and they're like, well, we're screwed. It's kind of nihilistic. It's very, well, these are our last days.
Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of fun.
I'll have to check that out myself.
Yeah, you can go check out MartianDiaries.com, and I'll have a link in the show notes for you. And yeah, definitely worth checking out. Easy enough. You can get the audiobook. You can get an actual paperback if that's more your thing, if you want to order directly from the website. But at least as far as I'm into the first book, I'd recommend it. It's a quick listen. I'm assuming it'd be kind of a quick read, and it is not bad.
No, that's anything that perpetuates War of the Worlds. I'm all for, with a few rare exceptions.
Yeah, I understand. There's been some just recently, just this past year, a bit of a loser, but I haven't seen it myself.
I haven't seen it myself, but every description of it sounds absolutely atrocious.
The last thing I wanted to mention, and I don't think I talked about it last episode. I believe I may have got into these just after we recorded last time. I watched the sort of 3 horror films that came out this past year to kind of celebrate the fact that Popeye, the character, fell into public domain.
Yeah.
So, of course, there's going to be horror movies.
Of course.
So there were 3 films that came out this year. There was, in no particular order, Popeye's Revenge, Shiver Me Timbers, and Popeye the Slayer Man. I watched all 3.
Yeah.
The first one I watched was Popeye the Slayer Man.
Yes.
I didn't hate that one. I actually kind of had a good time with that.
Okay.
It is the most basic of horror tropes. You know, a bunch of young people go someplace and then get stalked by a killer sort of thing.
Yeah.
But that one actually tried to weave in some mythos. They tried to give it some reason to why, what was going on. And it wasn't like completely ridiculous. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. But they tried. And there was even some bits that were kind of clever because not all the characters in the Popeye universe are public domain yet. Like Wimpy,
Oh, really?
I believe, came later. So he isn't technically, I don't believe, in public domain. But in this film, spoilers, there's a scene where some people walk into a bar and there's a man in the bar dressed in a black coat and a little round hat and everything. And the bartender just says, "Look, I told you, we're not going to sell you a hamburger in IOU."
Nice little way around that. I mean, really skirting right up against the edge.
But, the guy doesn't have any lines. They don't give him a name. So it's just a guy in a black coat and a silly hat wants to buy a burger.
Talking about a burger. That's hysterical.
So that one was fun. I should have stopped there. I think Shiver Me Timbers was next, and that film just made me angry.
Yeah.
And by the time I got to Popeye's Revenge, I think I just felt like I'd been beaten, and I just couldn't care.
Well,
neither one are any good.
I'm sorry those were your experiences. I saw your flashes of hatred for those out there in the ether, but you'd expect a lot more from a Popeye ripoff movie.
And that's just it. I don't expect much, but I expect you to at least put in some effort.
Right.
Popeye the Slayer Man, they put in some effort.
Nice. It's actually kind of funny. I didn't have much to bring up. It has been busy, but it did jog my memory that my son has decided he wants to venture out into horror movies now. So we've watched 2, Cabin in the Woods, and
interesting.
And that's the one he wanted to start with. And I'm like,
wow, that's kind of like that's pretty upper level horror.
It is, but it's a bouillabaisse of other horror films with a kind of a pithy little twist in it, which makes it fun. So he rather enjoyed that one, and then he wanted to try Scream, the original.
Yeah, sure.
And I hadn't watched that in forever, and it's still fun, but it's very 90s.
Yeah.
Very, very 90s. Even the early scene, the opening stuff with Drew Barrymore, her acting's kind of wretched in it. But it feels like it was supposed to be that way. Like watching it, since it is supposed to be essentially a satire on horror films while being a horror film, I'm thinking that opening sequence is intended to be that first layer, that very trope-driven horror movie kind of thing, where the girl is just going to be exactly as you expect her to be. She's going to be a ditzy blonde. She's not good. She's just going to be terrible and over the top. And maybe that was actually a directing point in that film, is that, Drew, we need you to be awful.
Maybe. It's been a long time. I'm trying to think if I've even seen that film more than once. I may have only watched it the one time, but I
Really?
remember actually liking it.
Yeah, no, because I even had to joke with... I based a Halloween costume off of a song from that movie.
Okay.
There's a... The singer is Nick Cave, and there's a song that they play in there, and it's kind of the beat of the background, and it's called "The Man with the Red Right Hand."
Oh, interesting. I know that song from the X-Files TV series.
Oh,
that was
yeah?
on the... Yeah, the one, what is it? Songs in the Key of X.
Okay.
They did a series soundtrack or whatever. That song was on that CD.
Yeah, but I actually appeared at a Halloween party as the man with the red right hand, and walked in with it playing.
Perfect.
So yeah, but that's my one little tidbit. That's what we managed to get ourselves into, and he's so enamored by it. He's like, "Ooh, which one do we watch next?" And like,
Interesting.
do you want to go
Cool.
through classics, or do you want to continue the franchise? Where do you want to go?
Yeah, I'll be curious to see what he thinks of like the first Friday the 13th or...
Yeah, he wants to he wants to hit like the major ones too. So and it even recently, we were watching something goofy. We got to see and one of the things that happened while you were at the expo, the Friday night of the expo, we went to see our annual showing of Evil Dead the musical. And this time, not only was my son with us, but our group expanded it to everybody's eldest kids attended in this. But they have trivia up at the beginning, and one of the trivia points was who was the killer in the original Friday the 13th movie. And of course, everyone just automatically goes, Jason, Jason, Jason. And it's not Jason.
No, it is not.
No. And I was laughing because I leaned in and I said, I know this answer, and I know everybody's going to get it wrong. and then, when they said, no, it was Mrs. Voorhees, like, yeah. So, I'm sorry, guys. Spoiler alert.
Spoilers to your son now, though. That'd be...
True. Yeah, he'll go into that, but but that's kind of the fun of Friday the 13th. So that's your first one, but that's not really the story. It's the second one and on where you actually build the Jason Voorhees character.
And I don't think it's until the third or fourth that he actually gets his hockey mask.
Yeah, I'd have to go back. I don't know. I know it's at least the third, if it's not the end of the second.
I think it's the third where he actually gets his hockey mask.
That could be, but...
before the year ends, it's 2025 is the 50th anniversary of Jaws. You guys should definitely try to...
Oh, he's already seen that one.
Oh, we've seen that one. Okay.
Yes,
cool.
no, of all things with his mother.
Okay, yeah.
I'd like to have been a fly on the wall for that.
Ooh, what about Alien?
We actually have done Alien, now that I think about it. And I guess my head just still sticks it in sci-fi, even though it is a horror movie.
That's definitely more horror. That's a haunted house in space.
It is. Yeah, it is very much a haunted house in space. But no, so yeah, but when I thought like traditional horror, the fact that he wanted to go with Cabin in the Woods, I'm like, okay, nice. I think I talked that one up a bit so he felt comfortable to go with that. And now that one's broken him in. So.
Yeah, well, I'll be very interested to follow his journey.
Yes. I don't know where all of this came from all of a sudden, but he's totally into it. So to the point where there was a toy show this past weekend, and he had to have the ghost-faced Lego Mini that he found.
Nice. I would be curious to see if he sticks to more of the traditional horror, the U.S. horror. Whether as he gets older, if he branches out to any of the European horrors.
Japanese horror is always fun too.
There's actually some fun Japanese vampire films that came out in the 70s, I want to say. They are very much like the Hammer Draculas,
okay,
but they're Japanese. So it's...
Yeah, no, he's actually expressed interest in visiting the original Universal monsters as well.
That'd be cool. But yeah, I was just thinking Japanese, you go to the original Ring-U.
Yeah.
And or the Ring, but if you want to, if he does venture overseas, that would be an interesting one.
Actually, it's when you get into the overseas one where you might actually run into the ones that might actually scare you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
They're better at that than we are. Ours are a little over sensationalized. They let you off the hook too easily.
Especially some of the older ones are definitely too reliant on the cat catapults.
Yep.
All right, well, let's put a pin in the top half of this show.
Sure.
We'll take a break here and listen to a promo for another podcast, and then we get back. We're going to talk about 1997's RocketMan.
And the worst of the worst, and the one where all the characters curse.
Rotten Tomatoes, Metacritic, IMDb, and Letterboxd all want to stick a simple rating on what we watch. But where's the nuance in that?
A popular movie doesn't always age well, and who cares if the critics didn't like it? We here at Good Movie Bad Movie believe every film has an audience.
So join us for the good, the bad, and the so bad it's good, such as The Godfather,
Back to the Future,
Geely,
Jaws,
Young Frankenstein,
Manos, The Hands of Fate,
Killer Clowns from Outer Space,
and Plan 9 from Outer Space. New episodes every other Monday, wherever you get your podcasts.
You can find us on Instagram at Good Movie Bad Movie Pod, or write to us at goodmoviebadmoviepod@gmail.com.
Or join us on our Discord server by searching Good Movie Bad Movie.
The cream of the crop and the box office flops. They will always be there to watch. Good Movie Bad Movie with Ali and Matt.
RocketMan was directed by Stuart Gillard. It stars Harland Williams, Jessica Lundy, William Sadler, and Beau Bridges, with an appearance by Shelley Duvall. Fred Randall has dreamt of going into space since he was a child. Now a software programmer, he has written the code for an upcoming manned mission to Mars. When that code comes under scrutiny, he is visited by the NASA crew who claims his program is faulty and causing the landing attempts to crash in the simulations. When it is discovered to be pilot error and not the program, a series of unfortunate and ridiculous events leads up to making Randall becoming the third member of the Mars mission crew. Hijinks and hilarity ensue as he goes through the training, survives the 8 months of Mars alone when his sleep chamber is taken by a chimpanzee, and has to overcome all his fears and anxiety, as well as the ire of Mission Commander Overbeck, to win the heart of fellow astronaut Julie Ford and help get the crew home safely. I knew of this film only because I remember seeing like the VHS box, like at Blockbuster. I didn't really know anything about the film. It is a Disney production, as it turns out, and it feels very much like a Disney film.
More to the point that they self-aggrandize an awful lot in it.
They do indeed. But this film took me back to like the classic 70s Disney films like The Nutty Professor or Flubber, Herbie the Love Bug, those types of films.
I think it wanted to be those. And if it had achieved that, it might have been okay. As I watched this, I felt like I don't know that they knew who their audience was.
I'm now almost ashamed to say that I enjoyed this film a hell of a lot more than I thought I was going to.
I felt like this was a long needle being pulled through my body.
Oh, interesting. Wow.
I abhorred every minute of this thing.
Wow.
Because I felt like this was a production Disney had intended for middle schoolers, only to not understand what middle schoolers find funny, and with the elimination of any middle school aged characters. So I found the main character completely obnoxious the whole way through, which is part of his point, but like the way you describe the film, your synopsis makes it sound like it's interesting,
coherent,
and that there's a possibility of having some fun with this. And nothing about that character was funny to me at all. If anything, I found it offensive.
All right, no, fair enough. No, he was obnoxious.
Yes.
Absolutely obnoxious. It definitely was one of those characters where you don't want this guy to come out on top because you don't feel like he's earned any of it.
No, and it starts off with a fairly interesting idea that as a kid he wanted to see space. That was probably not likely.
That opening scene I thought was kind of adorable.
It was, and that's where it ended. Because here's the deal. He was a child when we saw him in the dryer playing Space Cadet and all that. And that's all cute and adorable, and anybody can relate to that for the most part. Maybe not turning the dryer on. But
at least it was on air dry. They made a point that it was only on air dry.
Right, but the fact that let's say any socially awkward person, they still develop a bit more by the time they reach the age of 30 to be aware of who they are and their environments. And this almost felt like you were trying to make an autistic character without understanding what autism was, and then on top of it being really offensive about it. Because that would be the only way to fully explain why this character seems to have never bothered to grow up in any fashion whatsoever, despite the fact that he's a professional computer scientist working on programming for NASA. You would think you might have achieved a level of, I don't know, maturity and professionalism at some stage. And I get that that's not the point of this film, but they didn't give you an avenue for this to be okay in any way, shape, or form. It just was.
I think they wrote him and kept him as a childlike character, and this probably just goes right to your point about them not really knowing who this audience was, but they wanted him to be the kids that are watching this movie. That's how an adult pictures a child, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And that's why they kept him the way he is. The writers for this film, apparently, Craig Mazin was an ad copywriter for Walt Disney Studios, and he and his writing partner Greg Erb, they kind of brainstormed this idea with just the idea of what if Apollo 13 started Goofball instead of Tom Hanks. And they took it to Oren Aviv, the senior vice president of Buena Vista, and apparently he loved the idea and fast-tracked it. So these guys never wrote a screenplay, but managed to actually impress a few of the higher-ups to become this, to end up with a $15 million budget film.
Well, I guess kudos to them. Because, I mean, I know some of Harlan's other works, and it's interesting that I even had this thought, and I had to look it up. So he starred the year before in Down Periscope, where he plays the sonar guy. In fact, that's his name in the movie, is Sonar. And he's a total goofball, but he's a bit part. He's a background character. So we come in for a little skit with Sonar, and then we go right back out of it. And that's how usually cheesy slapstick comedy kind of works, is you take the little vignette for what it is, and then you move on to the bigger story. It felt to me like somebody saw his character in Sonar and said, let's make him be the main character.
It is so odd that I watched this film and found myself enjoying it as much as I did, because normally, and you're very right with your description of him, it feels very much like a Saturday Night Live skit character that they then make a whole movie about, and you're like, yeah, that's not funny enough for a 90-minute story. Normally, I hate that kind of stuff. Why this one clicked with me? Maybe I was tired. I don't know. Maybe I was just feeling just particularly childish that night.
Yeah, see, like, I can dial myself all the way back to being 6 years old and going, I still don't think I would have found that funny. Perhaps I've been an old man all my life. I don't know.
I don't know. Not recently, I guess, I've seen my son's evolution through television, what he's watched on television.
Yeah.
Going from the Wonder Pets and that sort of thing in the beginning, and then working up to things like Henry Danger and Game Shakers and things like that. And I feel like this is solidly in that area, the Henry Dangers type of stories, where it's just loud, obnoxious, extreme, but that's exactly the mindset that this film was set on.
Well, yeah, I mean, it definitely fits into Disney's persona of what middle-aged or middle school-aged kids like, whether they're accurate or not.
Well, whether they're accurate or not, but it is apparently what they like, because like just a couple of the shows that I'm talking about like the Henry Danger, the Game Shakers, the Thundermans, all these shows lasted for years and were really popular for the age groups.
Yes, no, I know. I got to pleasantly escape most of that.
Yeah, lucky you.
Yeah, that was not my son's bailiwick at all. In fact, if anything, he is very much a mini-me in that respect, because he likes all the stuff that I liked when I was a kid. So, and originals, like not even the newer version of stuff. If he's watching Transformers, it's G1. If it's watching G.I. Joe, it's the original G.I. Joe.
Yeah, no. My son was watching this stuff on Disney and whatnot, and that was his stuff. Those were the things that he'd program on the DVR to record every week, and so yeah, this is exactly. So maybe that's it. Maybe I was just able to okay, I can put my brain in that kind of mindset.
I suppose, and I'm sorry for that. No, and I was surprised at some of the caliber of actors that were in this thing. Like, seeing Beau Bridges show up in this. I'm like, really? You're in this? But no, and William Sadler, I actually felt pain for William Sadler. Because I'm like, okay, you're prone to playing the super serious guy, and I know that you're just. I don't know how you ended up in this film, but I get the sense that you want to do other things and be fun and funny, and not just always the serious hard ass that he ends up being in like literally everything else he does. So he's going to do the comedic version of the hard ass in this. It's just not good. Like even the way they handle the character, the notion that he's this hard charging astronaut that wants to be first on everything and have the most records and all that, which in and of itself was kind of demeaning of the whole thing, because that was the Paul Wick character, who was essentially the head of NASA, or at least whatever his role was in this, that wanted this mission to go off. It's the mission or nothing. I don't care if it kills the astronauts, that kind of thing. I'm like, you're coming off on some dark sides of this in what is supposed to be a very flip comedy. And that's kind of a weird dichotomy there.
Oh, yeah, very. I thought it was really weird they threw in the whole subplot about the Apollo 13 mission, and that it was Bo Bridges' character, Bud Nesbitt, who was the veteran astronaut that everyone blamed for the issue on Apollo 13, and it turned out it was the DeMunn, Paul Wick's the character, the flight director of NASA, or at least of the Mars mission or whatever, because he told Nesbitt that he was imagining things and seeing problems that weren't there and let him take the fall. I'm like, what, 6, 7, 8-year-old in 1997 is going to know a thing about the Apollo 13 mission? Right,
yeah, no, it was a weird thing to stick in there. And then on top of it, you're supposed to go, okay, this is the late 90s. We're supposed to believe these people were there 30 years ago? Like, how old are these guys supposed to be? Because neither of them look like they're men in their 70s.
Well, I guess in 1997, the Apollo 13 mission would only be about, 25 years ago?
Well, yeah, I'm rounding, but either way, they don't seem like they're old enough to have been in the seats that they were supposedly in 25 years prior.
I just double checked, and Apollo 13 was 1970. So honestly, you were closer to what you said before, 30 years. Yeah. So.
But yeah, no, these guys don't look like they would have been in the lead roles that they say they were in 1970, as in 1997. So
I could have believed the Bo Bridges, because you would have figured he'd been in his 20s or something like that during Apollo 13. But Jeffrey DeMunn as Paul Wick, the flight commander, to be in some role that would actually be able to decide whether a mission is a go or a scrub. That'd be a little hard to believe. That's a bit of a
stretch, yeah. And then your point. I mean, like, this is supposed to be quote unquote for kids. None of these kids would know anything about what you're talking about. So,
right.
Not these kind of details. I mean, even if they've been in a history class and heard of Apollo 13, they wouldn't know the nth degree details that this is kind of talking about.
No, to actually come up with a historical event like Apollo 13, but then use fictional characters around it.
Right.
Bud Nesbitt was not an astronaut on Apollo 13.
No. Nope. No, the whole thing just kept going. Who is this for? I just kept yelling at the screen. Who is supposed to enjoy this? What, like, the little romance thing made no sense whatsoever. I get that the Fred character might have been enamored with Julie Ford, but if she is the consummate professional that she's supposed to be, and he is as ridiculous. He might be smart, but he's still obnoxious as hell. I'm like, just because he knows how the computer works doesn't necessarily mean that it translates into a relationship. And again, I get it. It's for kids, but kids are smarter than that.
Well, but were they in 1997?
Yes, they were.
No, I agree. It is definitely, it's a movie romance because they don't, other than having the one moment where they get the bond over the stars and that they've named each other or they chose stars in the sky for themselves and everything, they don't have enough time or moments to justify any kind of romance. He definitely doesn't do anything that any human woman would find endearing at any point.
No, and this is where what I think this movie needed was to go more an Austin Powers route. Like, if the Fred character, like Austin Powers was an annoying character, but aware of himself enough to find the right moments to be a human being that somebody might be able to connect with. If they had kind of done that kind of treatment around the Fred character, I might have gotten more into this. Because I wanted to even, like, I thought it was kind of cute, the moment at the end where, okay, we've got the relationship now and we're going to play it up. And he's cut the blankets into essentially an unexpected tuxedo and gown situation. And I'm like, okay, this could have been fun, but I know too much about what's gone on to get us here to actually enjoy it.
You wanted to actually see character growth.
I did. I wanted, yeah, because again, he's this kid. He's into this, and he's still got an opportunity. And you could still make him kind of snarky and obnoxious without making him completely and utterly immature all the time. Mm-hmm. When we texted earlier, you picked on the one phrase that he keeps saying.
It wasn't me.
It wasn't my fault. Like, yeah. Like, in this scenario, that just sounds completely tone deaf to what's going on. I'm like, you can't have a grown man saying everything's not my fault every time and expect that to be funny even, let alone appropriate for the moment.
No, I think I definitely agree that as a character, it would have been nice just to, he could be eccentric, he could be a goofball, and he could take everything completely, not seriously, and then find that doesn't work, and that in certain situations, right, people are going to expect more from him and to evolve and grow a little bit and go, okay, yeah, I can still be childish, but I don't need to be a child.
Right, exactly. And which made it weird when occasionally you would get those moments that I think you're supposed to have that kind of feel like they need to take off, the sandstorm's coming, and crew members are still outside, and all of a sudden he hard charges and go like, no, I gotta go out and save Wild Bill or whatever. Mm-hmm. like, all right, I'm on board with that, except for you've wrapped it in absurdities that don't make any sense for this moment.
Yeah, that actually scene, got a kick out of it because I'm like, oh, I was telling my wife, it's like, oh, Tom and I will definitely have to talk about that. Once again, we have the Martian windstorm as the big bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, the entire Martian windstorm scene, it felt like it was from a different film because you've got Harlan acting very mature, I have to, save him, even risking his life to save the monkey, save the chimpanzee. Yes. By like, well, he can use my oxygen. I'll hold my breath. Remember, I'm the record holder. Lung capacity of NASA, and and all that, and then Wild Bill, I forget his Overbeck, because like, you can't do this, and then Sandler comes back with like, you haven't said one word to me this entire mission, and now you want to have a conversation?
That was legitimately cute and funny in that moment. And like,
right.
But that's a different movie than we've been watching up to this point.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So it's chaotic. It doesn't know what it wants to be. It doesn't know who it's trying to talk to. And you bring up the chimp. 0 point in there being a chimpanzee in that at all. Like, it didn't lead to anything at all. The closest thing to funny is the first time Harlan's character meets the chimp, and you're seeing this very fake fight because the chimp supposedly bit on his finger and he's trying to get it off and just throwing it all around the lab while nobody pays attention. And again, I would hearken that back to like an Austin Powers kind of style thing where there's something completely absurd happening in the background and characters just go about their business like nothing's happening. And it's cute, but you wrap it around everything else and it loses everything.
The whole film is a bit obnoxious.
And I'm trying not hard not to taint it for you.
It is unrealistic by every standard that you would put against it.
Yes, and I was prepared for it to be so, but I needed it to be way funnier than it succeeded.
Interesting. Yeah, I still found myself kind of giggling. I found myself maybe at the absurdity of it all.
Perhaps.
And maybe that's it. Maybe I wasn't laughing with it. Maybe I was actually more laughing at it.
As long as you got some enjoyment, because somebody needed to. This one hurt.
All right, fair enough. Of all films, I do have a little social media from this one.
I am astounded at this.
Well, the one is not surprisingly from Matt. He's the one who suggested the film in the first place.
Yeah, thanks, Matt.
I might have said recommended last episode. That would be a little bit of a strong term to use. So suggested is the word. But he does say that I haven't watched this since I was a kid. I was definitely the right target audience for it. Okay. I do remember thinking it was clever that Fred got selected for the mission by default because he kept accidentally injuring everyone else. But looking back, I'm not sure that kind of comedy would hold my attention for a full 90 minutes. No. So, it might be, he might enjoy it out of nostalgia since he watched it as a child.
If it hit him in the right moment, I get it. This is chicken soup then.
Possibly. And over on Facebook, Cameron says that this film was on Disney Channel nonstop growing up. Now, I don't know if that means he watched it nonstop or if he just knows it was on there,
right.
Like Beastmaster on TBS or something like that. But
which I could get on board with.
Yeah, I definitely get the impression that the two of them watched it fondly, at least as a child.
All right, well then, at least that answers the question: who it was for?
And it's a child's movie. Absolutely, I don't think you're.
No, I know it's a child's movie. I just don't think it was a child's movie. Is what I'm getting at. Is like I still think they missed their target.
No, absolutely. I see your point. It's a child's film written by adults who think they know what children want.
That. Yeah, exactly. Because if you actually hit a child, like I can like children's films. I do. I still watch many, but you still gotta bring me to it. You gotta make me. Why do I want to see this? And this did I can put myself in a 12-year-old mindset and go, yeah, I still don't think this is funny. Over on the professional side, it was bleak because as I went to search, I couldn't. I found one from 1997. Of course, it's from Roger Ebert. And the only line in his entire thing, and it was a brief review as a whole anyway, but the one I got out of there was RocketMan is not inspired or brilliant or original, but it's the kind of movie that gives you a goofy grin half of the time. And he actually gave it 3 stars.
Oh, 3 out of 5?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
And I'm like, Roger, were you high? But okay, whatever. This was one where he's like, okay, it's all right. I'm like, I don't get it. But yeah, no, I couldn't find anything else from the time period. Even the Wikipedia write-up only cited more current Rotten Tomatoes scores, which were not great. It was like 4.3.
I was just giving Rotten Tomato a quick scan to see if there was anything on there, and you're right, everything's from 2018. Looks like 2005. Yeah, nothing of the day. And yeah, with a whole 20% on the tomato meter.
Which is funny because on IMDb, their rating is 5.9 out of 10, which, like, who? Why?
Yeah, well, I probably helped with that a little bit because I'm sure I gave it at least a 5.
No, like even in just seeing the featured reviews in IMDb, the first one up says, one of the funniest movies I've ever seen, if not the funniest. Like, we need to inspect your sense of humor, sir.
Yeah, he's seen 2 films. Citizen Kane and RocketMan.
Yes, and out of the 2 of them, Citizen Kane is probably still funnier. But yeah, that's the sum total of review.
All right, okay. Well, yeah, I definitely got the impression that this did not do well. I believe I read that the box office was only just under the budget.
As long as the estimated budget is what it was, yeah, it was like 16 million estimated budget, and it came in at like 15.5.
Yeah. So I don't think many people watch this, including the critics.
Or the people who were relentlessly beaten with it on Disney Channel.
Well, let's see. What did we decide to do next episode?
I decided horror was the way to go the next time around. Yes, so we will be reviewing Doom from 2005, a solid rock movie.
Interesting. I remember watching this one quite a while ago. I found it interesting that it's not really a rock movie at all.
No, not
it's
really.
It's not a Dwayne Johnson movie at all, although his name is always the first one on top.
Of course, and this would have been one of the an earlier version of a movie where he was on top, but he's in it. It just
and he's in it for a lot less than like Carl Urban. This is really a Carl Urban film.
Yes, and I got nothing wrong with Carl Urban. I like me some Carl Urban, and this is goofy and fun, and I have seen it before. I think I may have even seen it twice, so this will be a third viewing.
Yeah, it's going to be great. I didn't even remember that it took place on Mars, but I'm so happy that it did, because, give me an excuse to watch this one again, because I remember actually really enjoying it the first time I watched it. So
and the cute ways they sneak in the Doom experience into the film. It's so forced, but you just kind of smile that, okay, I see what you did there. You got it in. Nice job.
Yeah, I may have to throw in my Doom either on the SENS or the N64 and give it a play.
I was also inspired because since Pluto TV has started the Mythbusters channel, and I have been taking that in, although I find it funny. Every time I'm on Pluto TV, I always catch only the same 5 episodes, despite the fact that they ran for 10 years. But all that aside, there was an episode devoted to Doom.
Interesting.
They set up their own Doom landscape, and they were testing the differences between can you move through the maze if you were really this character. Can you move through the maze quickly carrying all the gear that you're supposed to be able to carry? And it was hysterical watching them put this together. So
that's fun.
I was inspired.
Cool. All right, well, that'll be it. So Doom from 2005, was it?
2005.
Sweet. All right, that'll do it for this episode. Thank you for listening to the Time Shifters podcast. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this episode, whether it's feedback, questions, or just something you want to share. You can reach out via email or drop a comment on any of our social media posts. Just follow the link in the show notes or head to timeshifterspodcast.com.
If you've got a moment, please consider leaving a rating or review. It really helps more people discover the show, and who knows, they might become time shifters too.
If you're feeling extra generous, please toss a little support our way monetarily. You can go to Ko-fi.com/TSPOE podcasts. Now, every bit of that will go towards web hosting and production costs. This show will always be free, but any help you can provide is truly appreciated.
And if you prefer things, items, stuff, check out our merch at TeePublic or Dashery. Links are in the show notes and on our site. You'll be helping us out and supporting some awesome independent artists at the same time.
That's going to do it. Thanks, everybody. We'll catch you next time. Bye.
See ya.